Alright, hey folks. I'm going to be doing another commentary for you all. Now this commentary may look a little, why does it always do that? A little different from some of my previous ones. That's really funny. Because it's actually going to be done on a different computer than the one I normally use. Because this is a replay of a game that I played, on my laptop in my living room, and for some reason the replay won't play on my desktop. It plays fine on my laptop, but my desktop is a no-go. So I'm commentating on my laptop. I think I have all the sound settings and everything correct, but if the sound is a little off, please bear with me. I tried to get it right, but of course until the whole commentary is done and actually uploaded to YouTube, I can't be entirely sure that everything will come out correctly. Similarly with the screen resolution and whatever. As you can see, I'm actually going to pause here. I'm going to change the video settings. And you'll be seeing some flashing interface issue there because XSplit has, like, weird bugs. Anyways, so yeah, as you can see, I'm playing Vayne. I'm playing with my roommate Ethan, who's playing Tarek. We've been doing a lot of Vayne Tarek recently, like just sort of grinding our way up the elo ladder by doing that, because it's fun, and even though duo laning is probably less efficient for gaining, like, just sheer rating point gain, if you're duo queuing, it's more fun to lane together and get to, like, actually interact during the course of the game. So that's what we've been doing. Vayne Tarek is an extremely powerful lane because you have a double stun. I usually don't get condemned until 2, but after level 2, when you have a heal and 2 stuns and like 1 billion damage from tumble and condemning people into a wall, you can get a lot of kills, so it's a very aggressive and powerful lane. Our team also has Singed, Gangplank, and Cassiopeia, which means basically we have a lot of sustained single target damage, like Cassiopeia especially, Gangplank who wants to get off multiple parlays, Singed who's mostly AoE damage, but Vayne and Tarek are all about the single target stuff. Our opponents are actually very similar. They do have 2 AoE ultis. They do have 3 AoE ultis in Annie, Sona, and Rumble. So they're fairly strong in a concentrated team fight. But they also have Caitlyn and Warwick, who are mostly about getting picks with Warwick's ultimate and Caitlyn's traps. I actually feel like their lineup really wants something like an Amumu or a Fiddle in the jungle. Probably Amumu. To sort of go with their AoE theme. I feel like it's a bit of a scattered lineup. But neither team is bad by any stretch of the imagination. Generally, I feel like Singed should beat Rumble. If only marginally, it should be mostly a farm fest, but I feel like Gangplank jungles faster and has stronger ganks than Warwick, and also carries harder. So I feel like we should be ahead in the jungle. Cassiopeia should have an easy time against Annie, except she went Doran Ring, which gives her no sustain. So, because of that poor item choice, I feel like Annie will be able to harass her out of the lane and gain an advantage. And Vayne Tarek, which is a very aggressive lane, actually has a fair amount of trouble against Caitlyn Sona, which is too bad because that's just like the most common bot duo lane in the game right now. Just because they have so much range, and they, so they can sort of bull you around and push you out of the lane. Our goal basically is just going to be to get kills when, like, if they make mistakes, and if they don't make mistakes, just get farm. I'm running, 2109 with flat AD runes, so I do 73 damage at level 1, plus with this tumble, that goes up to over 100, which is like a lot. It's sort of 200 damage for tumble attack, and that's pretty strong. So like even if we just get a level 1 stun on Sona and then I get an attack, then we have a serious advantage in the lane. Get to pull off my double attack. We've got... we're just clustering up to guard the jungler. Gangplank's gonna do the wolves first and then transition to the blue. Which is good if you can do it. Like that's a sort of very standard, solid, fast jungling route. As I talk about in my jungling guide, which you should watch. I'm curious what you guys think of the replay format for commentating. I'm curious actually what I think of the replay format for commentating my own games. Maybe see Cass not waiting for Gangplank to hit them, so that's actually going to slow his jungle down considerably. You want to not pull the small camp, and then she steals XP. So Gangplank actually lost a lot of the advantage he would have gained there. You can see me pulling it so that Taric can hit them. I take like a little bit of damage from the range creeps, but we get a good amount of damage on the solo for Gangplank, pretty much for free. I think I missed one creep here. No, I actually tumble into range and get the XP. It's nice in the early stages of the lane. I'm going to be focusing mostly on our lane, of course, but I'll try to look elsewhere when I need to. It's nice in the early stages of the lane to sometimes just throw out a stun, as you saw Ethan do there, to sort of like test your opponents, see are they going to screw up, put themselves in really bad positions, just to get a feel for how they're playing. You can see Caitlyn is focusing very heavily on harassing me. She's hit me with both the headshots that she's gotten up so far. Which is powerful and will cost us damage, but we can heal a lot of that damage. That was less of a good stun because he walked on the trap there. We could heal a lot of that damage with Taric's heal, obviously, and it's going to cost her last hits and make the lane push. Still good if you can get pretty harassed, which is basically what she's doing here, but you see that she missed a creep for that, which in the end is probably not worth it. Generally better to get creep kills than to get harass damage. You can see up top that Singed already had to base and teleport back, so he's like in serious trouble. He's getting his ass kicked by Rumble there. And Cassiopeia is also pushed way the hell back because she's getting harassed down by Annie, I assume. Unfortunately, I can't see people's health bars. We see a gank going down up top. Warwick comes in behind Singed, and they're actually able to burn him down. I feel like he had to have misplayed sometime earlier there, and like not have his ghost or whatever. Now Gangplank is up top with double buff under turret, and it looks like they're going to dive him. And here's Annie. So Gangplank's in serious shit. But actually, wow, okay. I actually didn't notice this happening during the game. That was an awesome play by Gangplank. You saw he ran around the turret there. I wish I could have seen their health. But you saw he like ran around the turret like that, and sort of did a little ring there, which forced them to take a shit ton of damage for diving him. And because he had the red buff slow, plus his native slow, he actually got a double kill and an execution. That was awesome. Meanwhile, we're losing our lane. We're getting harassed backwards and taking a bunch of damage. I am up on last hits on the Caitlyn, because she's harassing so hard. But if the lane keeps going like this, then I'll have to base and she'll be able to catch up with a wave or two of free farm. As you can see, I'm already having to give up these range creeps. And so I call for pressure. It's important when you're losing a lane to call for jungle pressure, especially when the lane's pushed up like this, so jungle pressure will be easy and effective. And you can see Gangplank doing the right thing and working his way down through the wolf camp to us. Under the assumption that we can hold out. We don't need, like, emergency help. Lots of pinging going on. Annie missing, Warwick top. We see Annie's back mid. And we see Gangplank is coming in. Because he got that double kill, I believe he's 6. Yeah, he's 6. He's 2-0. He's got his razors. You see, I stunned Sona against the wall. We didn't actually need that ult there. I sort of wish that he'd placed the ult over here. And then we might have been able to get that Cassiopeia kill as well. I'm actually gonna I feel like my mouse is acting up. Yeah. Something really odd is going on with my mouse. So I'm actually gonna pause the replay real quick and switch mice. Nah, I'll just deal with it. But with that kill, we're like totally back in this. We can see that our CS is still going quite even with Caitlyn, but now she's really low on health, and I can shop, and then we can start winning the lane convincingly. So just one jungle gank when they're putting themselves in an exposed position, turn that whole lane around. As you saw, we were losing it pretty convincingly. But with the jungle gank, we got this, we're back in this, and I'm able to pick up 2 Doran Blades, attack speed boots, and 3 health potions, which is going to be really powerful. Cassiopeia being given blue by Gangplank. She needed to push out this wave before leaving. You always want to push out the wave before leaving your lane. And here she is, able to pick up that blue while I run back to the lane. I'm not 6 yet, which means that we're not quite as strong in terms of actual combat. Man, it is really hard to be in the place where I want to be, for some reason. I think there's something quite wrong with my mouse. Oh well. You see Gangplank coming back in, but he actually steps too far down and shows himself to the Caitlyn there. And then he goes and steps on the trap. So, a less well executed gank than his last one. I'm unfortunately not in position to capitalize on that stun. Gangplank holding mid while Cassiopeia puts pressure top, and they actually throw a Gangplank ult. But Rumble unfortunately manages to escape. Here, I missed this. Actually, I think I got ulted out of the brush by Warwick, but no one else was in range, so I just walked out. Just not well coordinated gank by them. As you can see, it cost me like literally nothing to evade that gank, whereas Warwick's ult is down. I don't think in this sort of situation it's important to show every kill. Like, I'd like to. But mostly I want to focus on my lane, and you wouldn't see every kill in a game that I was actually playing live. So, man, you can see there that I'm just clicking straight up, clicking on the wrong creep. Which cost me that last hit. That one I sacrificed in order to ensure that I get these others. Because the damage wasn't working out. At this point, because we were winning, because of the jungle pressure, and now we're winning the lane, I'm taking a convincing CS lead over Caitlyn. She's having to play way back. And we're sending Ethan up to zone her, which is obviously powerful. I'm calling for a Gangplank ult without looking at the thing that says it's down. I didn't see that they used it top in the game. But obviously I wanted to play aggressively and try to kill Caitlyn, and if Gangplank had ulted there, we could have. Ethan walking into the brush and forcing Sona's flash, which lets me get like 1 million free hits on Caitlyn. Because Sona obviously had the flash there, So here, we do some diving, and because I blow flash, we get that kill. Sona chasing. And she hits 6 here and actually ults us. But I have exhaust up, and Gangplank has ult, which is good. And we're able to pick up the double kill there, which is awesome. Because now Annie is coming, so we're like, shit, gotta run. She's obviously gonna go for me, but she'll take the kill on Ethan. If she can get it, which she can with Tibbers. But we actually forced her to blow flash Tibbers there, and we still went 2 for 1. So really good trade for us, and like you can see, Cass is getting free farm mid that whole time. Because I have 1640, I'm gonna wait for my BF sword. And then I'll be like more or less exactly where I want to be at 12 minutes, which is 2 Doran Blade, attack speed, boots, BF sword. I'd like to have like a health pot or 2, just because health pots are really good. Rumble's down here, so the other team is probably gearing up to do Dragon, except that Warwick is top, so it looks like they're just ganking. With a bunch of flashes, my team's able to get out of all that. I actually pathsed wrong. I should have run down this way instead of straight down, and then I would have been in position to come in for this fight. As it is, I'm not going to be able to get there in time, so the most useful thing I can do for my team is just go back to farming. Yeah, my mouse just like does not want to go to the right. It's gonna make gaming on this computer hard in the future. Looks like I'm in the market for a new mouse. I missed a kill, sorry. I think Cass just ulted her and then took her out, would be my guess. It's a bunch of poison. Counter gank from Gangplank, and Rumble's running away. So, here I am watching it. They should have been able to pick that off, I think, but Singed Slip didn't go off for some reason there. So they have to let Rumble escape. The metric that I use for my farm, generally speaking, is that I want, by about 18 minutes, the goal is to have 2 Doran Blades, attack speed boots, and infinity edge. 18 minutes is a good game. And you should set goals like this for yourself, especially as a farming hero. You want these items by this time, usually, because your job is to just get as strong as early as possible, right? As strong as possible, as early as possible. We see Annie because we have good ward coverage in the river, and we back the fuck up. Annie sees that and turns around, so we go back to our lane. We watch Annie sort of running back this way. Yeah, I'm just gonna move things around using the mini-map now because my mouse is like not liking large movements for some reason. And here, because we're really stupid, we don't notice that Annie is still missing, and we're like, go, quickly! Annie went back to mid lane, and then obviously Annie comes in and destroys us. Although we actually only go 1 for 1 there, which could have been a lot worse. Just because Sona's really weak right now, and we're able to burst her down very quickly. Which puts me at 4-1, and I get my pickaxe, and I'll probably buy a health potion. If I was playing the game now, I would buy a health potion, but it looks like I don't. Health potions are really good to have, especially in aggressive lanes like this, just because they let you stay in the lane. We've Singed taken a lot of damage from Tibbers there. He's getting pretty low. and Warwick's coming in, and we ping for him to back up, and he doesn't back up, and dies, giving Caitlyn a kill. That's really sad for us, because we were keeping Caitlyn, like, way down. The great thing about Vayne's passive is that you can use it to do shit like that, because you don't need to be faster than them to chase them, like natively faster than them to chase them. When you have an advantageous position, just right-click on them and just keep right-clicking on them. If you get 3 right-clicks on them, you've done a crap ton of damage. This game, I'm maxing Silver Bolts second. I should talk about skill build, actually. So in a duo lane, because it's your main damage and, like, power skill, you want to max Condemn. It does the most damage, and if you have a stun in the duo lane, you can more or less guarantee that you'll only be condemning people into walls. And if you condemn someone into a wall, it does, at max level, an enormous amount of damage. Like, that's huge. That's 400 damage from that one skill. That's bigger than, like, any's Q or W at this stage of the game, and actually will be for quite some time. That Sona ult misses, and we're like, well, shit, Sona ult's down. Dive them. Unfortunately, they backed up a little bit faster than we could do it, and I waste my ult there. But that was definitely some good instinct by us. I actually missed 10 seconds before that Sona ult, I think. Ethan also wasted his ult in the brush, just standing here. He was like, boom! Take that, brush! So, not the best. Unfortunately, I missed the wall stun there, even though I've tried to flash, like, below her, but my flash didn't have quite enough range. But because I do so much damage, I'm able to pick that off anyways. And yeah, we just call the dive the Sona, because we have the damage to take her out. Ethan tanks, like he stuns, and I wait to hit her until the stun hits, so that the tower aggroes onto him. And then we can pick up that kill. So, here's Annie coming in, and I'm like, run away. No, wait! Feed! Feeding much better than running away. There was no reason for me to die there. I could have just, continued to walk off this way, and we'd have still gotten that Annie kill, because we had vision on her, and she didn't know we had vision on her. These guys are off doing blue instead of getting the dragon, and now they're heading mid instead of, getting the dragon. And now we're chasing Warwick, instead of getting the dragon. We do get Warwick after blowing flashes and ultimates and stuff, but we could have just got the dragon. So I remember being not pleased that we didn't just dragon there, and you can see me pinging that shit like over and over again. I'm just like, dragon, 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 dragon. And now that I'm finally back here, we finally actually do the goddamn dragon. You can see that I have at about, like, I think it was about 1845 or so, I got my 2 Doran Blades Edge attack speed boots. This is not because I've been playing spectacularly, this is because the other team has been giving me kills, which I shouldn't have that many of. Like, 6 kills is a lot of kills. And if my CS was better, then I would still have this amount of farm, but because we've been playing very aggressively, I'm getting a lot of gold. I also would have had it sooner had my team done dragon instead of diving the Warwick, which Ethan and I were talking about at the time. Getting dragon is always better than 1 kill. Getting dragon is like almost always better than more or less anything else you can do. If you can take dragon, then you win. Frequently. I actually screwed up all of those last hits. I should have just waited for the tower to hit it and then last hit it. I don't know why I was just auto-attacking there. I was probably watching them fight over here at blue, where they actually killed Yeah, they killed Annie at the blue and got the blue for Cass. So, like, great for our team. These guys love their blue buff. Gangplank and Cassiopeia spend a lot of time doing blue buffs this game. Or we're taking a lot of damage for not much reason there. Man. So yeah, with Tumble, I'm actually keeping Tumble at level 1 here. There's a fight mid. Looks like they're diving and no one dies. And hopefully Gangplank gets out here. Nope, he turns around for some reason, which gets him killed. And it looks like, yeah, unfortunately my team's staying in those fights for way too long. Cass does get Annie, but that was not worth it. At this point, our job is just to siege down the turret and continue to farm. Singed dies, but as he correctly points out, he's actually he's not worth anything right now because he's 0-6. So him dying for the tower was actually worth it. He's actually got like some good logic there. It sucks that he's 0-6, but if you're losing like that, you should make the best of it by making decisions as though you're losing, not as though you're winning. A lot of what people do is they start losing a lane and then they continue to make decisions as though they're winning their lane. We see 4 coming for us bottom, so we back up. Something. There was a noise that I had just noticed in my room because it just stopped and I don't know what it was. Hopefully it doesn't show up on the, like a consistent noise, I don't know, like a fan or something. Hopefully it doesn't show up on the recording. But yeah, because we have all our skills, right, I've got Condemn, I've got Invisibility, I've got Exhaust, Ethan's got I've got Flash, Ethan's got Flash, he's got his ultimate and Shatter. Even a 4-man dive, they would probably have to give up at least 2 deaths to get us, and they might not get us. So we feel pretty safe just hugging this turret, rather than backing up and hoping to bait them in. Because all of our spells are short cooldown, we don't mind blowing like Shatter and Ultimate and my Ultimate and Tumble Condemn or whatever, just for Harass, because it does a powerful amount of damage. It's less powerful against a lane with a heal like this. Unfortunately, I screwed up there. If I'd condemned Sona against the turret, it would have been way better. Here, I ult and invis to get out, but unfortunately Rumble has his ultimate, places it well. We should have checked the map and seen that there were people missing and not gone for that turret dive, or if we had gone for the turret dive, we should have just dove. It's also, these guys were doing blue when they could have been counter ganking, which would have been better. They're also doing blue while the turret dies, which is too bad. I would have liked to see them defend that turret. However, this ambush is sick. Cass gets a double kill there. She flashes to get out. Rumble flashes after her, unfortunately. And Gangplank can probably just kill the Caitlyn here. But he opts to run away because Rumble's coming back, which is a decision I can't really fault him for. Caitlyn backs up, but Rumble keeps chasing, which is really foolish. My passive lets me catch up to him. Like, my job here is to get in range for Exhaust, and then stun him into a wall. I fuck up the stunning him into a wall bit, but luckily Ethan has a stun also. And we're able to pick him off. At this point in the game, I remember this conversation. Ethan's like, how fast can you do 600 damage? And I'm like, pretty fast. And then I'm like, okay, maybe not quite as fast as I thought. We actually take like half health doing that turret. Which is still good, because he can just heal himself. But I was expecting to kill that much quicker. It's because, of course, the IH build doesn't push towers very fast, because it gives you not that much absolute damage. But it's just the most damage against champions that you can get. We're running in, and I tumble away while Annie Tiverses, which is awesome, and then Ethan's like, "Shit, man, that bear is out of control! Stun it! Stun it! Stun it! Stun it!" So he stuns the Tivers. And here we identify that they're being pushed back, and we just do the dragon. Cass runs in a little too far. She could have camped in this brush instead of over here, and probably not died. But it's so worth it for us to get the dragon for a death. Head over here and do these wolves. At this point in the game, because I clear waves very quickly, it's important for me to maximize my available resources, which means like doing the little jungle camps, getting the red, pushing waves wherever they spawn. I pick up my Phantom Dancer, and I've decided here is where I have to make my first like real decision of the game. When you get IH, Phantom Dancer, attack speed, boot, Tudor, and blade, that's more or less your core build that gives you a shit ton of damage. And that works on basically any AD carry once, something like that. Here I am trying my best to steal all the creeps from Singed. Unfortunately, Singed is pretty good at stealing creeps, so I miss most of them. So the decision that you have to make here is, do I want to go an aggressive item, like a Bloodthirster or a Last Whisper? Or do I want to go a defensive item? And if I want to go a defensive item, do I want to go Banshee Veil, or do I want to go GA? And basically what you do is you look at the other team, and you see who's dangerous on it. And I answer basically Rumble and Annie are dangerous to me. Especially Annie. So I'm going to go Banshee Veil this game, because that will block a stun, and it will let me escape much more easily and live through like Sona ultimates and stuff. Just good. It's really good. If they were all physical damage, I'd go a GA to have armor. I've actually changed my rune set to be running magic resist per level runes, so that a Banshee Veil will now give me more than 100 MR. For some reason, we all decide that Warwick desperately needs to die, and we go chasing 5-man top. I run this route so that I can cut him off if he runs like straight down the lane, and also so that I can get farm if my team catches him. Resource maximization, right? I want to be here where the creeps are so that I can kill them, so that I can get strong. My entire goal, all of it in this game, is just get items. And my counterpart on the other team, Caitlyn, is now 60 CS behind me because I've been able to clear waves really fast, and frequently. And because I'm resource maximizing, she's sort of sitting bottom, and I think she's gonna sit bottom and wait for this next wave. Whereas you can see I'm roaming the jungle and just picking up farm wherever I can, which is possible because our team is winning, so I have better map control. At this point, we want to push in very aggressively. It is pouring rain out my window. Like, it's raining a lot. And you can see there that I did a sort of cute tumble backwards just as Annie was going to ult. So I dodged Tibbers for the second time this game. I also put a lot of damage on Warwick, but Sona's heal saves her. And I think my third attack hit the turret, like I switched to the turret for some reason. I probably A-clicked instead of clicking on Sona. So at this point I decided to back up and just take the turret. Cassiopeia goes in for the Sona, and they get her. And we actually have to back up without taking the turret because Rumble's really strong. He wants to kill me, but I can get away pretty easily just by tumbling and condemning. I even had exhaust if I needed it, but I didn't. Vayne is really good at escaping in long chases, because tumble and condemn both give you distance. Meanwhile, they're catching out the Rumble and they're chasing him. I'm deciding not to buy elixirs here, because I just want to get my Banshee Veil as quickly as possible. Gangplank almost gets the Rumble, but his shield saves him. And Singe chases for like a year, which is obviously dumb because Rumble's going to be faster and there's no way he can possibly catch him. I grab that farm top, because I know that I might miss one creep for doing these golems, and I don't actually even. You can see that there's more time and resource maximization involved in that decision. Do the golems there between waves. Get more money. And I'm getting pretty close to Banshees. And once I have Banshees, I'm going to be really hard to deal with for the other team, because they'll be doing a ton of damage, and their main sources of disable won't hurt me. Their main sources of like burst and disable just won't impact me in any meaningful way. These guys are doing blue again while the turret dies, and Ethan's like, guys, come, help, help. You see I get a cute stun there on Rumble against their old turret. It's actually pretty useful for me to kill Tibbers there. Tibbers does a lot of damage, and if you can kill Tibbers, you get a lot out of it. For some reason, I thought that Condemn an extra shot would kill her, that I had the burst for that. I didn't have the burst for that, so I had to blow Flash. So we push this wave out, and then we run to the Baron. Which is absolutely the correct decision. If you get picks, especially 3 this late in the game, just Baron and then you'll win. Like 95% of games, if you take the Baron, you win. And it's a little sad that they were doing blue while the turret was dying. So we want to take their buffs here, which I point out to my team by starting to attack it. Cassiopeia just got our blue, like that should be hers, but I guess she just got it. I wanted to give that to Ethan, but I attacked it again because I got confused that Cass wasn't taking it. So I ended up with it. That was slightly suboptimal. Gangplank tanking that turret when there were creeps right there, also suboptimal. My team pinging that there's a big wave here, which I hate. I hate that people do that, because it sends, like, it gives your team really contradictory messages. We should just push here. But instead, because someone pinged that, we're gonna, like, split off and have to go do jungle shit, and I'm gonna run into a trap and maybe get caught. Ethan flashes onto the Annie, which is obviously great, because we get to take on the Annie. And I chase the crap out of this Rumble because I hurt him a lot. He gets a dodge. Here I make a critical error where I don't see that I'm exhausted, and I tumble in, and I'm like, oh, I guess I don't have the damage to kill her. Luckily for me, my team is there, except for Singed, who's off clearing the creeps because we had that really bad ping. We're much stronger than them, so this works out okay, but that was incredibly sloppy. I made a terrible decision to flash in there. Singe made a terrible decision to not be there for the fight, to split off from the team. Luckily, he's here now. Don't worry, team. I've got this. So here they are taking a crap ton of damage from the double turret. They do get the Sona. And they're going to chase the Caitlyn and take more damage from the double turret and give up that death when we could have just had the in-him. So really not good identification by me or my team of how strong we were or what we should be doing at that moment. Because I finished my Banshee Veil and because they don't have any physical damage that I'm afraid of, because Caitlyn has not been able to position herself very well in these fights. Not through her fault, but Caitlyn's actually playing quite well. She just actually hasn't been able to position herself well in these fights because she doesn't have anyone who can stand between her and me. But because Rumble is building armor and Sona has an Aegis, and Warwick has a Sunfire Cape, and I want to just be able to burst them down, I'm going to grab a Last Whisper here. Here we catch out Caitlyn, who's in a really exposed position. And we get this dragon, because why not, it's free. And now we should group up and push again. As soon as Singe spawns. I don't know how Singe died, but my guess is he stayed way too long at way too low health. So I'm gonna farm some more minions. These guys push in aggressively, and Sona flashes. The Sona's actually been extremely prodigal with her flashes. Like, she's been blowing them a lot in situations she doesn't have to, which is really good for us because it means she doesn't have flash up for the team fight. If she had flash up for the team fight, she could position her ults much better. Maybe hit me and Cass with them, which she hasn't done frequently. Singe teleporting top to pressure multiple lanes simultaneously. That's not bad at all. Our goal here should just be to siege down the turret, or maybe transition to bottom and get that turret. If we're finding it too difficult to push in here. But instead we're going to dive, which it turns out we're really strong. So I burst down Sona because she's easy, and then I chase down the Caitlyn. And then immediately switch to Rumble. And here I hit a click instead of clicking on Annie. So I attacked Tibbers twice, and then I attacked the turret twice, which cost me my quadra kill, because it took too long. And I get actually a delayed penta there, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, the goal there was to do things in order of who I could kill fastest, which was Sona, and threat prioritization, which was Caitlyn, because Annie had already blown all her spells, so there's no need to hit Annie. I almost died of the turret there, because I'm awesome like that. And once a burst caster's thrown down all their spells, if the fight's going to be over really fast, like if it's a sustained fight where Annie would be able to get off multiple incinerates and disintegrates, then it would be important to kill her. But since the fight was going to be over really quickly, it was important to kill their repeatable sources of DPS rather than the ones whose spells are on cooldown. So I switched to Caitlyn, and then I killed Rumble because he was very low and there was no reason to leave him alive. And then I switched to Annie, although I didn't switch to Annie very well because I switched mostly to Tibbers there. So that's the game, and that's sort of how Vayne Tarek goes, and that's like what Ethan and I have been doing in ranked play. I think this game, I don't even remember which game this was. We played like 20 of those in the past week or so. Just Vayne Tarek, Vayne Tarek, Vayne Tarek, Vayne Tarek, Caitlyn Tarek, Vayne Sona, Vayne Tarek, Vayne Tarek, Vayne Tarek. Just AD carry support, duo bot a lot, which is fun and interesting, and that's sort of like how you play that lane. You play aggressively, you call for support when you need it, you take last hits when you can't get kills. You be map aware, which we weren't always, like getting killed by that Annie in that gank and by the Rumble in the later gank was just by virtue of not watching the map. And then you come out really strong. It's also important to set itemization goals for yourself. I want X item by X minutes, and then you can measure your progress and how well you're last hitting based on how frequently you're meeting your itemization goals. In terms of post-game analysis, even though our top lane lost and our mid lane was down in CS all game, I actually didn't do a CS check this game, which I should have. I apologize for that. But in general, we were down on CS except for me. Except for, yeah, my lane, because Ethan was supporting really well. So, like, top lost convincingly and mid lost slightly. Annie's farm was better than Cass's. But because we had dragon control, despite my team's best efforts to be doing blue instead of dragon all the time, and because I got to more or less free farm all game and then get free reign in fights, we came out really strong. So we won bottom lane and we won the jungle. That early double kill for Gangplank up top did not hurt us at all. It got him really strong, which helped in that gank bottom. And that's about it. So let me know, firstly, what you think of the format, the replay format. I think I prefer live commentaries, just because I feel like there's more energy when I'm actually playing at the same time. Although with my mouse all fucked up, I don't know if I can actually do that. But the replay format lets me talk a bit more about strategy, and it lets me concentrate on commentating during team fights instead of concentrate on team fighting during team fights. So let me know what you think of that. And otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and GG. Man, alright.